Have you been arrested yet?
Honestly, have I ever been arrested? I was,
You gotta try harder.
I was not arrested, but I was, I guess, detained. I mean, they put me in cuffs. I guess technically I was arrested, but there's no record of it. I went to Quebec to do the Just for Laughs festival, and I had a bus. At this point, at one point, I got thrown out of the air by Southwest Airlines, and I didn't want to fly on planes anymore, so I was driving around a bus like John Madden. And so, on one of these bus trips to go to the Just for Laughs festival, the whole ride there from California to there, from Los Angeles to Quebec, I'm sitting in the back of the bus smoking my brains out, having a great time, just like, look at this, what beautiful country, this is amazing. And the whole trip is fantastic. Just as we get to the Canadian border, the driver's like, all right, we're going to cross into Canada, so you better get rid of all the weed you got. And I was like, I already did, I smoked it. So we crossed the border, man, and it's in the morning, and I was dressed in like a bathrobe and PJs, because it's a bus. You could I literally look like I just woke up. So we pull in, and because it's a bus, they pull you over the side. You don't normally just pull up to a window or something if you're in a car. They pull our bus in, and there's a border patrol, Canadian border patrol, 2 guys with them holding big guns, look like Tech 9s. I don't know if they carry another gun guy, but they were pretty impressive guns, and shit for Canadians especially. So we opened the door and we said, good morning, and they go, smells like weed in there. I said, used to be, I smoked it all. Which I thought, like, I'm not on my way to the Just for Laughs fest. They'll be like, hey, that's funny. And they were like, get out of the bus. So they made me and the driver get out of the bus, and we went and sat down in front of, like, they had benches in front of the little station, by windows and whatnot. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, I'm gonna search the bus, and they smell like weed. There's no weed there or anything like that. So all of a sudden, the guy comes out of the bus, marches up to us, and he's like, can you stand up, please? And I stand up. He's like, can you face the wall, please? And I was like, boy, this sounds familiar. I've seen them do this on Law and Order, usually in the first half of the show. And then, I turned around, he cuffed me, and then he walked me to a cell. I swear to Christ, it was from here to that pole right there in the middle of the room. And then he uncuffed me and put me into a cell. And I was like, what happened? And he goes, we found contraband on the bus. I said, get out of here. Who had contraband? What are you talking about, man? I thought I smoked it all. And he was like, sit here, you'll have a call. You get one call, who do you need to call? I was like, well, shit, I better call a lawyer, I guess. I called my lawyer here in New York, and I was just like, I just got pulled over in Quebec, and they say there's contraband on the bus. He's like, was there? I said, I smoked it all. And I was just like, all right, well, hold on, I know a lawyer up there. I'll get him into it, blah, blah, blah. So the lawyer got into it, and this lawyer from Canada was, I love this. He made such an argument, I didn't hear it. I'm sitting in this cell, wearing a bathrobe, I had PJs on. I was by myself, thank God, because otherwise I was a total easy target, It was easy to get into clothing. And I'm just waiting, and I'm like, my life is fucked. I'm like, at that time, Paul McCartney got caught with weed, but I'm not nearly as fucking famous as Paul McCartney, so I'm really fucked and shit. And I was sitting there going, everything's done, my fucking poor kid's gonna be humiliated, what's my wife gonna fucking think? And then I said, suddenly, I calmed myself, and I was like, you're fucking 40, I think I was 42 at that point. I was like, you're 42, you can't get in trouble anymore. My whole life, I've always been afraid of getting in trouble. I'm a real fear-based individual. And it took till I was about 38, man, to be like, you can't get in trouble anymore. As long as you don't wake up with like a dead fucking girl or a live boy, you can't get in trouble. So I calmed down in the cell. I was like, this will work out and shit. And then the cops came back in, and they were just like, okay, do you know what you had in there? And I was like, I don't. And they showed me a container of weed, and it was a small container with some ground up weed, and it was like this much, maybe enough for like one decent sized joint that I would smoke, but not that much. Now, it had a bunch of little straws in it, and those straws are for when you pour these cones, you pour the weed into the cone, you tamp it down with the straw, and then you twist it closed, and voila, you're smoking. But that little straw looks fucking nefarious in an 80s disco kind of way. So he shows me the container with ground up weed, and it's got 3 little straws in it, and he's just going, what's this all about? And I was like, and I was just like, well, I'm sure it looks like marijuana, officer. And he goes, what do you think the straws are all there for? What is this, PCP, a snorting marijuana or something? And I was like, no, I said, I don't know whose that is, but if I had to take a guess, I would imagine you use that to tamp it down inside a joint that you're about to close or something like that. Off the top of my head, he's like, well, we tested it, and it tested positive for angel dust. And he looks at me in such a way where I'm like, he's trying to fucking play me. And I know that there's straws straws don't have anything on them but marijuana because it's my fucking weed. So I go, you can test them all you want. I said, I don't think that's the case. I don't know anybody that does anything like that. Everyone in my world's weed only and stuff like that. So he's like, all right, he went away and stuff. And I'm sitting there going, where was that? It was in a jacket pocket in the back of a closet that I'd given to my wife at one point. Last time we were going through like a fucking border crossing thing. I said, put this in your pocket in the back of the closet. And she did, and we crossed it. It was easy. It was very right. This time, not so easy. And I'm like, damn, my wife. And I'm sitting there going, it's your fucking fault. So I'm waiting to find out what happens. And then the guy comes into the room. He's like, come with me. I said, okay. And I follow him and stuff. And he brings me into an office. He goes, okay, there's not going to be any charges leveled. We spoke to your representative, and we got a call from one of the, it wasn't a name that I can't remember, but it was somebody high up in Toronto government, in Quebec government. We know that you're going to the Just for Laughs Festival. We checked back, you come back and forth in this country quite a bit. We're going to let you go because the government says you're a great benefit to Canada. I fucking shit you not, man. I was like, you're kidding me. He's like, well, normally we don't have to let you cross the border right now. He's going, I'm not saying that you're with marijuana, and believe me, even if it wasn't enough to charge you, so it was a ridiculously small amount. But he's like, we're not charging you, it belongs to the bus. But if this bus ever comes to Quebec, it's getting pulled over again. I was like, well, I'll sell this fucking bus. So I was like, I can still go to Just for Laughs Festival because I had 1 hour left to reach it. And the border was like an hour away. And he said, you can go because you've been deemed a significant benefit to Canada. And so I got in my van, I've been in the bus, and we took off, and I immediately called my mother because I was just like, you're never going to believe this, Mom. The entire fucking country of Canada said I am a significant benefit.